Poor circulation after 60 can quietly turn one missed step into a fracture, one numb foot into a fall, and one ordinary night walk into a medical emergency. And there is one category of drink that can start changing that circulation faster than most people realize. This is senior health and wellness. What we are really analyzing is not just cold feet or heavy legs. We are looking at a blood flow problem, a nitric oxide problem, an inflammation problem, and in many people, a metabolic problem hiding in plain sight. Here's what we know. As we get older, blood vessels often become stiffer, narrower, and less responsive. That means less oxygen delivery, less nutrient delivery, slower waste removal, and weaker communication between nerves, muscle, and blood supply. What that suggests is bigger than discomfort. When flow drops, balance can drop with it. Muscles fatigue sooner, nerves signal less cleanly, feet lose sensation, and suddenly the body stops trusting the ground beneath it. Now watch this. Most people are told to move more, elevate the legs, maybe wear compression, maybe stay hydrated. And yes, those things can help, but if the body is struggling to generate and protect nitric oxide, we are still leaving the central mechanism half addressed. Nitric oxide sounds technical, but the idea is simple. It is a signaling molecule that tells blood vessels to relax. Why that matters is obvious. Relaxed vessels let blood move more freely. How we apply it here is through foods and drinks that either supply nitrate building blocks or protect nitric oxide from being destroyed too quickly. That is where this gets interesting, because some drinks barely support the system at all. Some help, but slowly. Some look healthy while quietly pushing blood sugar in the wrong direction. And a few can shift the whole environment inside the vessels within hours. If your legs feel heavy, if your feet run cold, if walking feels harder than it used to, the question is not just, what am I drinking? The better question is, what is that drink doing inside my arteries, my mouth bacteria, my insulin signals, and my vessel lining? Because yes, your mouth matters here. Dietary nitrates do not become useful nitric oxide by magic. Oral bacteria help convert nitrates into nitrites. Then the stomach and circulation help complete the process. That means a healthy habit can fail if the conversion pathway is blocked before it even begins. So let's separate the weak options from the strong ones. Plain water matters, but not for the reason people want. Mechanism. Hydration helps maintain blood volume and keeps blood from becoming more sluggish. Why it matters: thicker blood can move less efficiently through already stressed vessels. Practical use. Drink enough water daily, but do not pretend water alone is going to restore vessel flexibility. It is your baseline, not your breakthrough. Green tea is a little better, but still not the hero for this job. Mechanism. Its polyphenols may support endothelial health over time. Why it matters: the endothelium is the inner lining of blood vessels, and when that lining performs poorly, circulation suffers. Practical use. Green tea can fit into a healthy routine, but if you want a fast circulation shift in the legs, this is usually too gentle and too slow. And here is the contradiction people miss. A drink can sound clean, natural, antioxidant-rich, even anti-aging, and still be a weak choice for the specific problem we are trying to solve right now. Tart cherry juice starts to move the needle. Mechanism. Anthocyanins can help calm inflammation in vessel walls. Why it matters: lower vessel irritation can improve flexibility and ease stiffness. Practical use. If someone uses tart cherry, dilution makes sense, especially when sugar tolerance is poor. But the sugar load can work against metabolic health in the short term, and that matters more than people admit. Why does that matter so much? Because circulation is not just a plumbing issue. It is also a blood sugar issue, an insulin issue, and an inflammation fire issue. When insulin rises sharply, some people see worse vascular function in the short term. When visceral fat is high, inflammatory signals stay elevated. When inflammation stays elevated, the endothelium suffers. And when the endothelium suffers, your circulation stops acting young. That is why we cannot judge a drink only by what it adds. We also have to ask what it costs metabolically. Pomegranate juice is stronger. Mechanism: antioxidant compounds may help protect nitric oxide from oxidative damage. Why it matters: making nitric oxide is useful, but preserving it is just as important. Practical use: pure pomegranate can be supportive, especially diluted, but again, the sugar burden means this is not automatically a free pass for everyone. So, what are we looking for instead? We want something that either delivers nitrate efficiently, improves vessel function quickly, or supports the repair side of the inflammation versus recovery battle without creating new metabolic drag. Cocoa moves into serious territory. Mechanism: cocoa flavonols can enhance nitric oxide signaling and support endothelial responsiveness. Why it matters: vessels that respond better can open better. Practical use: the benefit is tied to real cocoa, not sugary dessert powder. Unsweetened preparation matters because once you flood the system with sugar, you can blunt the very advantage you were chasing. Now think about what that means in the real body. Better vessel response means warmer feet, less cramping, less heaviness, and in some people, better walking tolerance. That is not magic. That is signaling. But now we're getting to the drinks that can change the conversation. Watermelon is more interesting than it looks. Mechanism: it provides citrulline, an amino acid involved in nitric oxide production. Why it matters: citrulline can help feed the pathway that improves vessel relaxation. Practical use: fresh watermelon or fresh juice can be useful, especially when tolerated well, but seasonality and sugar still affect the decision. Hibiscus is one people underestimate. Mechanism: plant acids and pigments may support blood pressure control and endothelial function. Why it matters: lower pressure and better vessel lining function reduce stress on the circulation network. Practical use: steep it properly, use it consistently, and be careful if blood pressure already runs low or medication is in the picture. Here's what we know. The blood vessel wall is not passive. It is active tissue. It senses pressure. It senses inflammation. It responds to oxidative stress. It responds to food. It responds to what we repeat every day. So the question becomes brutal and simple. Are we feeding repair or are we feeding friction? This is educational, not medical advice. We're evidence-led and we manage risk. Celery juice deserves more credit than the trend cycle gave it. Mechanism: celery contains natural nitrates that the body can convert toward nitric oxide. Why it matters: that pathway can support blood flow surprisingly fast when the oral bacteria and stomach conversion steps are intact. Practical use: fresh preparation is best, empty stomach use is often preferred, and the taste is not the point. The physiological effect is the point, but even celery is not the top move. Arugula is where things start getting aggressive. Mechanism: it is one of the richest natural nitrate foods available. Why it matters: more nitrate input means more raw material for the nitric oxide pathway. Practical use: blending arugula into a smoothie with lower sugar support ingredients makes compliance easier, but timing matters. Drink it soon after blending and do not sabotage the pathway with antiseptic mouthwash right after. That mouthwash detail is not small. It can wipe out oral bacteria that help run the conversion chain. So imagine doing everything right with nitrates while accidentally shutting down the workers at the front gate. Now, watch this. If you had to choose the most powerful circulation drink in this lineup, the one that combines direct nitrate strength, speed, and real-world practicality, it would be beetroot juice. Mechanism: beets deliver concentrated dietary nitrates. Why it matters: those nitrates can be converted into nitric oxide, helping vessels open and blood move more efficiently. Practical use: pure beetroot juice, used consistently, preferably away from a meal, gives the pathway the clearest shot. And this is where people often feel the difference, not just read about it. Feet feel warmer. The dragging, heavy sensation eases. Walking can feel less hostile. The body starts acting like oxygen is finally reaching places that have been undersupplied for too long. That is the experience many people are really chasing. But we need to stay honest. A useful drink is not a miracle. If circulation trouble is being driven by smoking, uncontrolled diabetes, severe plaque burden, advanced neuropathy, kidney disease, medication effects, or a deeper vascular disorder, One drink will not erase that biology. What this suggests, instead, is leverage. Better inputs can improve the environment. They can lower friction inside the vessel wall, they can support nitric oxide, they can reduce some of the metabolic chaos, they can move the trajectory. And trajectory matters, because poor circulation is not just about the legs, it is about what poor flow says about the whole system. If the legs are undersupplied, what is happening in the brain, in the heart, in the kidneys, in the tiny vessels feeding the nerves? That is why this topic quietly connects to longevity, cognition, and independence. When circulation improves, tissue gets what it needs. Mitochondria, the cell's power stations, can work with better oxygen availability. Muscles recover better. Walking confidence improves, inflammation may calm, and the brain gets a body that is more reliable underneath it. Do you see why this is bigger than numb toes? And there is one more layer almost nobody mentions. The same habits that support blood flow often support the terrain that resists disease more broadly. Better endothelial health, better blood pressure patterns, better metabolic flexibility, lower inflammatory burden. Sometimes even a better internal environment against the chaotic supply line building we worry about in cancer biology, because abnormal angiogenesis means diseased tissue building new supply lines for itself. Healthy circulation is not the same thing as reckless growth. Context matters. Signaling matters. Terrain matters. So what do we actually do with all this? We keep water in the foundation, but we stop worshipping it as the solution. We treat sugary juices with caution, even when they contain useful compounds. We respect cocoa, hibiscus, celery, and arugula. And if we want the strongest daily circulation lever from this list, we build around beetroot juice. A practical rhythm looks like this: beetroot as the core option, hibiscus or celery as support. Arugula worked in several times a week if compliance is realistic. Cocoa as a useful adjunct when prepared without the blood sugar trap, and we avoid the mistakes that quietly cancel the benefit. Do not slam nitrate-rich drinks with a heavy meal and expect the same effect. Do not kill the oral bacteria pathway right after. Do not buy ultra-processed versions loaded with sugar and additives, then wonder why the body gives you mixed signals. And do not expect a system stressed for years to reset in one afternoon. Consistency is the part nobody can outsource. There is also a timing clue hidden inside all of this. Morning often works best because you are not stacking these compounds on top of a full digestive load. The mechanism is simple. Less interference can mean cleaner absorption and a stronger signaling response. Why it matters? If you want to know whether something is helping, you need a repeatable routine, not random use. Practical use. Pick one primary drink, use it at the same time daily, and pay attention to warmth, cramping, color, swelling, and walking confidence over the next 2 to 4 weeks. That is how we turn guesswork into observation instead of just chasing health trends. And if symptoms suddenly worsen, one-sided swelling, pain, or skin color changes, that is a different conversation entirely. Fast. So, here's the real question for you. Are you willing to test a simple daily habit long enough to let your biology answer back? Or are you going to keep waiting until the next stumble makes the decision for you? If you want more evidence-led breakdowns like this, subscribe now, because the next piece of this puzzle is what most people combine with these drinks that quietly destroys the benefit. And before you move on, tell us this in the comments. Which is your bigger issue right now? Cold feet, leggy cramps, or walking fatigue? Because the next hidden problem is not in the drink at all. It starts the second you step into the bathroom, and almost nobody sees it coming.